Thank you very much. So I'll talk a little bit about Evalueserve and our business model. We've been selected because of the innovation in the business model that we came up with. So we are a 6-year-old company, started in early 2001, and in the last 6 years we basically managed to grow to in total about 1,500 people. We're really a global professional services firm, commonly called now KPO, Knowledge Process Outsourcing, which is a term that Evalueserve had created about 4 years ago. And what we have tried to do is to not only globalize the professional services industry, but really globalize the research and analytics or the whole area of knowledge management, as a company. There are 5 synergistic service lines that we have in the company: investment research, business research, intellectual property services, data and financial analytics, and market research. And I'll talk a little bit more about them in detail later on. And what we did was to take the sort of the BPO model and take it to the next logical level of providing higher value-added knowledge-based services. So to be able to deliver such services, we required let's say more professionally qualified staff, people with MBA degrees, engineers, lawyers, chartered accountants, medical doctors, and those are the kind of people that we hire right now. What is the value proposition? Quality, clearly that's a given. Second, it's global coverage. So we have done work in 192 countries in 65 languages. So we pretty much cover all markets, all languages, all industries across the world. Local in-country support, that's very much required. So we have about 45 people in our sales team who are spread all over the world. And last but not the least, clearly being cost effective. So in our case, the cost savings that a customer gets in terms of dollars is far, far higher, because the existing cost structure that they would have for that kind of service would be very, very high as compared to the BPO industry. So if you're working for an investment bank, you can typically look at the cost structure that an analyst sitting in Wall Street has, and we are able to give the same service at 1/3 or 1/4 of the cost. So dollar savings are substantial. Moving on, the 2 founders of Evalueserve are Alok and Mark, who are shown on this slide. Alok was at IBM. He was there for 16 years, and actually he was an inventor there, and he was an innovator. And he has 16 patents in his name also. And Mark was a partner at McKinsey, and both of them met in Delhi through their kids. The kids used to go to the same school. And Mark was coming at this from a more business perspective, given his McKinsey experience, and Alok was coming at this more from a technology perspective, given his IBM experience. And both thought that India was ready to start, such a company. So in terms of our growth, we became profitable in March 2002, and have been growing at about 100% every year since then. So far, we have done more than 10,000 projects, have about 1,000 plus clients. This includes large Fortune 500 companies or Fortune 1000 companies, investment banks, law firms, small and medium-sized enterprises, all over the world. So currently, as I mentioned before, close to 1,500 people. Delivery centers in Gurgaon. Then we have one in Shanghai in China, and then just set up something in Chile. And we'll probably do something in Eastern Europe next year. So let me maybe take a few minutes and talk about what really the model is. So knowledge process outsourcing, we've all talked about it. We're talking about innovation. We will see 21st century really being won by companies if they're able to fight the war of knowledge. So the whole process of knowledge creation, knowledge protection, knowledge storage, and then finally knowledge monetization is really what is going to drive lots of industries. Whether it is high-tech industries or it is the professional services industries. So what we do is we have actually created a platform, and the platform is is not just sort of providing our clients with cost arbitrage or cost savings, but now we are actually helping our clients grow. So somewhat in the, sort of what Jay mentioned in terms of alignment between IBM and Bharti, we are also aligning with our clients much more closely. And I'll give you an example of that. We have a 40-member team sitting in India working for an investment bank, where this team is developing a product. It's an investment product which the bank actually sells. They have only 4 people onshore. So they're going to derive millions of dollars of revenue out of this product. And this is no longer a case of just having sort of some smart people working in India at a lower cost. So the skill set that we have put together is very synergistic. And we are now trying to build really a global delivery platform so that we can cover our global clients at a global level really. A little bit more about the service lines, investment research and all the others. As I mentioned earlier, these are very synergistic in nature, and oftentimes we see that clients actually work with us across these service lines. So if you really look at a knowledge process in any company, and there are currently 40 million knowledge workers in the US, there are probably another 40 million in Europe, and so on. What one is seeing is that the whole process of this knowledge management is becoming more and more difficult for companies to do because of shortage of talent. And our model actually allows companies to keep on getting those services and also in a more cost-effective manner across these different service lines. So let me just take a minute. Investment research, we work with investment banks, hedge funds, VCs, private equity firms, corporate finance departments, doing all kinds of modeling work, valuation work, M&A target identification, putting together pitch books for investment banks. So this is about a 450 people strong team. And we have clients in Japan, we have clients in Europe, clients in the US, and so on. Business research essentially provides 70 to 80% of the value add of a consulting firm at 10% of the cost. So if you look at business plans, and this is all being done at a global level. I mean, thanks to telecom and thanks to IT, there is no reason for somebody to be sitting in London or in New York or in San Francisco or Tokyo to be doing a lot of this knowledge work. So you could be sitting in India, you have access to the PC and the internet, and you have access to people over the phone. You can do a lot of this research. Market research, here we work with our clients who themselves could be market research companies or end clients doing global surveys. On a daily basis, we do 300 surveys in the B2B space, multilingual. So we do surveys in Japanese, surveys in Chinese, surveys in German, French, and so on. And all of this is being done from India. Intellectual property, we work with the law firms and we work with end clients who are focused on drafting and filing patent applications. So this is about a 200 people strong team. And here we hire engineers and PhDs and medical doctors and essentially work in the area of patents. Lastly is the area of analytics. Here we would take gigabytes of data and try to make some sense out of it. And we are seeing that most of our clients have so much data they are sitting on and they're not making use of it. They're really not being able to monetize the data because nobody is looking at it. They don't have resources to do that. And we can again help our clients grow if they were able to create some value out of the data they have. What are the engagement models? On one side, we have what we call ORCs. So similar to the ODCs in the software industry, we would have dedicated pools of people. Our largest such center is 200 people center for an investment bank. But we have numerous others which are 25 people or 50 people. And since we work with about 75 Fortune 500 companies, each one of these companies could scale up to 100, 200 people kind of centers with us. The other model, which is actually far more interesting, is the on-demand model. So clients can come to us and say, okay, fine, I have a research project for you for one day. So we actually do that. So at any given point in time in the company, there are probably 350 or 400 projects going on. And I think the real innovation is in setting those processes in place which allow us to manage quality on each and every one of those projects.